Metal Sound Podcast, where we talk about our favorite musicians from all over the world. We're going to be talking more about Baby Metal. We got a lot of Baby Metal news. Guys, welcome to the show. We appreciate you being here.
We just watched that Baby Metal song with Poppy.
Yeah, we did.
The reaction's up. You can go check it out. You want to give a little rundown of just overall thoughts?
Dude, I loved it. I loved it. It was a great song. It was a great song. Yeah. I can see what Champ was saying when we were watching it, that maybe a lot of people might not enjoy the screaming in it, but I don't give a f. I thought it was great. I don't care.
That was an enhancement for me.
I love Baby Metal with screams in it, especially the way that they did it with the Poppy song. I thought they did it perfectly. It was just enough sprinkled throughout, and that's how I like screams. I don't like screaming the entire time. I'm not a fan of that. I like it when it elicits emotion and gets you into the song. If it's just like screaming for no reason, I'm like, I'm a huge fan of songs where they start clean and it's like the anger part of the situation in the story hits and then they scream more later on. This wasn't quite like that, but it did progress. The screams did progress. We got a little bit of Poppy scream and then a little bit more Poppy scream. And by the end of the song, we're like, wham! In your face.
Yeah. By the end of the song, she had turned into the monster in the background of the video. And that monster was screaming instead.
She became a monster by the end of the song.
I agree with you. There's bands I used to listen to when I was younger, like Arch Enemy, that were just like, and Dark Tranquillity, that were just like straight up screaming all the time. They didn't do any vocals. That stuff doesn't really appeal to me anymore. Now, this is like the perfect combination of the amount of screaming that I want to hear in songs, because I want to be able to sing along to it also. And the fact that this was mostly in English makes that a lot easier too.
Yeah, it started off in English and then we got Japanese, and that seems to be a trend with some of these songs. Even the other collabs that they do, they're just mixing languages together. And like I said in the reaction, genres are not a thing anymore at this point, and same with language. Baby Metal is not only mashing genres together, but they're mashing languages together. We got Japanese, English, and then Indian, and the one with Bloodywood. That's just wild to think about. Is that where we're at now with all these worldwide collabs? We're just gonna mix languages, and I think Baby Metal's on the forefront of that right now. How many other bands can we think of, or groups or artists that are mixing multiple languages? Maybe there is a lot, because I'm in a bubble too. So to be fair, I'm in a bubble.
I think everybody kind of lives in their own little bubble, but I will say that this is becoming more popular nowadays. I think what we're seeing now is when people start to collab with Western artists, and then it starts to spread. I wonder if this is a good thing, though. I don't really want to lose the culture behind other languages.
I think you'll ever lose the culture, because it's always going to come through. I think anybody that's doing music, your culture, your past, your history is always going to come through in the music at some point. Could it absolutely go away? I don't think so. I don't think so, because you could argue like Electric Callboy is definitely more on the Western side of music, but you could still feel the influence from over in Europe. You know what I mean? It's still upbeat, still happy. I absolutely love that band.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of good to this. There's the part of me that's a little bit concerned, because I feel that there's like almost too much of a hybridization when it comes to music, where we start to lose like very specific genre flavors because things start to blend into something. And if that starts to happen with language also, I do have the concern that everything is going to start to feel a little bit more middling, and there's going to be less dynamics overall. And to be fair, that hasn't happened yet. It's just a concern.
To be fair though, with Baby Metal, we all know this is for marketing. And just like Neo24 said in the chat right now, if you want the international appeal for a non-Western group, English lyrics really help push that. Absolutely. And that's why people add English. But Baby Metal has it where they have all three languages, or sometimes depending on who they're working with, which is really cool. And I hope they do more of that.
Me too. And I love the idea of collaborating with somebody that speaks a different language and then putting their language in not even English, I'm talking about, like any other language. I love hearing that shit. And I think that also like breaks down barriers that people are scared to cross. There's still a lot of Americans that like just won't listen to music if it's not in English. This will open a door that might not have opened before.
So if you're a person that doesn't like listening to a song that's not in English, would you compromise if half of it was in English? For instance, this song. We have majority of it's English, but there's still Japanese. Do you think those people will still check it out?
I think a lot of people are. It's like a what do you hear first type of thing.
Start off with English.
Yeah, if the song starts out with English, I think that they might be drawn in before it's too late. If it started out the other way around, I think a lot of people would just turn it off before it even got to the English part. So this is a smart way to do it.
Also get them acclimated to other languages and not being so opposed to it. Now they're in the door, and now they can check out the entire song and they're sold already, right? So there's a good chance that they might be like, you know what, it's not that bad in another language.
I think the purpose is we saw it with Bad Bunny a couple years ago. Dude was the most streamed artist in the world, and all of his songs are in Spanish. And people were like willing to do that. Like people were willing to listen to these fully Spanish songs knowing that they didn't speak Spanish. I think there's also an element of which language it is that's being involved. And I do think the Asian languages are harder for Westerners to start to appreciate or get into in the first place.
Yeah.
This is a great start, though. This is how we need to start doing stuff like this.
Baby Metal is doing a lot of collabs, and this album has probably the most collabs I have ever seen on an album in general. They just released this on their website where they're saying their new album, the fourth original album, Metal Fourth, will be released worldwide on Friday, June 13th. Yay, near my birthday. Hell yeah. The long-awaited fourth original album, Metal Fourth, will be released simultaneously worldwide. The group's first album since their third release, Metal Galaxy, in 2019. So that is a good...
Holy shit.
Oh, 6 years? Yeah, we got 6 years. Wow. And the follows their 2023 concept album, the other one. Okay, yeah, I forgot about the other one. That came in 2023. The goal is, they're saying in this, that they're trying to connect with people all over the world, which we're definitely getting. So in addition to the live show favorites like Metal Lee with Tom Morello and Ratatata with Electric Callboy, the album features 10 standout tracks from Me to You, which we just checked out, which is with Poppy. We also have My Queen featuring Spirit Box. Also, for the Grammy Awards, is still fresh in our minds and composed by Jordan Fish, formerly Bring Me the Horizon. Jordan Fish has a lot of influence on some of these songs, with the Poppy one specifically. Is he doing other ones? Is that what they're saying here?
No, I think they're just saying that he helped with this one. So Jordan Fish was a big contributor, if not the main contributor, to Poppy's most recent album.
Yeah.
So him and Poppy like split writing duties, from what I understand. He's like her writer.
A lot of people are looking forward to My Queen featuring Spirit Box. I know a lot of people are really waiting for that one. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Spirit Box. This is the one I'm least excited about, to be honest. But with Baby Metal in there, it could be badass. There's some Spirit Box that just can't get. I don't know why I can't get into that group for some reason.
I feel like we come from an era where we listened to the metalcore bands that were in the original metalcore wave. All That Remains, Killswitch, Engage. The new metalcore wave that's happening now, and it's just a little bit different than what we were used to, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
It's been hard for me to. It's a little lighter. It's a little more commercialized, I think, than the stuff that we had when it was our era of metalcore. So it's hard for me to like really get super into it. And Spirit Box really, they do embody that for me also. But I do think that they're really good in comparison to like what we were getting out of that quote unquote genre for the last 10 to 15 years.
Now, the song I am looking forward to, though, Baby Metal with Slaughter to Prevail. What I've noticed is a lot of these don't say feature on it, where it's like straight up collabs, just like the Poppy one, where My Queen is just a feature of Spirit Box. I have a feeling that won't be as dominant as these other collabs, which are just like straight, like a mix between both of the artists. So, yeah, a brutal counting song with Slaughter to Prevail, which I don't know what that means. Are they going to be, is it literally going to be about counting? Are we getting some Sesame Street?
A brutal counting song.
A brutal counting song. That threw me off when I read that. And then we get another Bloodywood collab, Con, featuring Bloodywood, a creature metal song with Indian Bollywood metal band Bloodywood, who have been the talk of the town with Fuji Rock Festival and festivals around the world, blending roots in Japanese and Indian tribal music. That is so fascinating. I can't wait to hear that. Then we're getting another Polyphia feature. So
Nice.
Sunset Kiss featuring Polyphia. I'm excited about this one too.
They still put out like one of my favorite songs the last 5 years with that. Remember the one song that they did with the pop singer? And it was like...
oh, yeah, the ABC? The ABC
yeah, that
one.
song.
Yeah,
that song rules. I listen to that all the time. It's one of my most
Super
played stuff on
catchy.
Spotify. It's so good, dude. Like, how often do you hear like a guitar solo like that under a pop track? It just never happens.
I was hoping like it would keep going in that direction. It's funny you mentioned pop because it says a city pop metal track. And then, so we're definitely going to get more of a pop thing. And then we got Kawaii, which with the X's. Why do people do that? Why do they do that with the X's in between when they're spelling out a name?
Because they think it's edgy.
Oh, is that what? So a wild.
Come on, man. That started in 2000. Back with Extreme.
This song,
And 3 X's.
I'm also excited for. So Slaughter to Prevail one and Polyphia. And then this one's at the top of my list because I love Die from Pale Dust. So a wild rap metal song composed by Die from Pale Dust, who also worked with Lil Uzi Vert's song, The End, which I still like that song. That was featuring Baby Metal. That was included on his #1 U.S. Billboard album, Algorithm. Bro.
This is going to be my favorite album from them. And just because it's so diverse, all these songs sound so different. It's so weird. I want to hear a wild rap metal song and a city pop metal song. What the fuck does that even mean?
I know.
I remember. Imagine it.
I've heard some of this Japanese city pop that people have showed me, and it reminds me of very 80s like type of music. Don't even know where we're going with this one. In addition, though, it was officially announced that Baby Metal World LLC has been established in the United States as a base for Baby Metal to expanding their global activities. Furthermore, Baby Metal has signed a global deal with Capitol Records.
I'm guessing they didn't leave their label. That's just it's a label that they're signing with for
to
Western
help with.
promotion.
Yeah, but that's great. That's
a great
fucking
choice.
Huge, dude.
I do still wonder, like, it's still
huge.
I feel like it's such a good move, right? But I'm still like in that zone of like,
nervous. I'm a little
nervous. How much is the Western audience going to receive them? It's such an odd style of music and and especially with all this diversity that's coming out this time, people over here are still so sensitive about they don't like to be uncommon. I want them to get enough momentum over here that people actually latch onto it.
I don't know if this is good or bad. As long as the music's not affected, I hope labels have just realized not to fuck with the artist's music, but I'm holding my breath when I say that. I don't know. I don't know what this means musically. I hope it is just for distribution and getting them known in the audience, and Koba still has complete control. That's what I'm hoping for, and I think that's what it will be. I have to assume
that's the case, just because they didn't leave their previous label.
Yeah,
so
it literally says that it's just established for expanding global activities. Hopefully that means they're not going to fucking touch the music.
Exactly. And they better not, because that's the last thing I want. I don't want a westernized version of Baby Metal. I just want Baby Metal to collab with Western artists. And the last thing we need is Westerners taking over Easterners' music, because that just makes it worse in almost every case.
And then, of course, like they always do, they have a Japanese edition and a standard edition for this CD. I'm not sure which benefits you get for these, but yeah, you can look it up on their website, babymetal.com. I wonder, I was trying to look up the ticket prices. Somebody was mentioning in chat, Neo was saying, I wonder if the $2,000 VIP thing is a Capitol Records move. Guys, send me the link for the more information on that. I was trying to find the link of what they're selling or what they're doing. But yeah, so Chow PX said the extra edition is just extra cover sleeves and photo cards. Which, you know,
people like that.
People in Japan love that stuff, man. They love that stuff. Over. I'm excited for this album. This is going to be a really good album, I think.
I'll tell you what.
It's going to be top 10. They don't have that many albums. Never mind. It's going to be in their top 5, all right? For sure, 100% top 5 album by Baby Metal. It's kind of wild.
Be their worst album.
15-year anniversary, and they have 5 albums.
I wonder how common that is, if we were to look at the legacy of rock bands. I will say, this song gave me like such great hope, and I think it was the perfect song to choose as like the introduction to this album, to say, hey guys, check it out. We have a Westerner here. We're doing this mostly in English, and we still sound like Baby Metal. I would have gone with this too if I were them. Even though I haven't heard the rest of the tracks, this is the perfect one to say, hey, we're here, check this out. You might like it.
Hey, this is interesting. Kira Vu says in the chat that they don't consider Metal Fourth to be the 5th album. It's the 4th. That doesn't make any sense. They just put in the description that they do consider that an album.
Because it's a concept album, quote unquote, but it's still their album, and they still wrote it. I don't know.
It's their 5th album. I don't care. It's their 5th album. That's the weirdest argument ever. It's their 5th album.
Some gimmicky bullshit, bro. I'm sorry, but listen, I love them, but that's a gimmick, and it's fine. Yeah, I like it. I support it, but they have 5 albums, and I'm going to listen to them all.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Simno, for that information about the Baby Metal tickets. They have they do this a lot where they put up their schedule for the year. So we just dropped with the new song, May 10th to the 30th. We got a Europe tour. May 30th, we got a special arena show in the UK, the O2. June 13th is when the new album drops, Metal Fourth, their new 5th album. June 13th to the 23rd. We got a North American tour, which is awesome. Right after the album drops. August, got the Japan Festival tour. September, October, Asia tour. Special arena show in the US in November. Okay. And then, of course, to start off 2026, they normally do this January special arena show in Japan. I think so too. So Baby Metal's EU UK 2025. So this is for those tickets specifically. No wonder why I couldn't find it, because I was looking up US show dates. So they got a tier 0 experience. So they've been catching some slack about this because of the price tag. And I believe this is $2,000 for this experience. It's exclusive access to the pre-show Baby Metal VIP lounge, complimentary snacks and soft drinks, special video message from Baby Metal, which, just to let you guys know, special video message does not mean personalized video message. First time ever personalized and autographed VIP Baby Metal country specific flag. That is crazy. I think that's where the $2,000 comes into play, honestly. I know some people are saying that's a ridiculous price tag, but if you're getting a personalized autographed VIP Baby Metal country specific flag for your country, to a lot of people, that is worth the $2,000. Actually, I'm really surprised it's that low. I can definitely imagine people paying even more.
It's the same thing that WWE's doing right now with John Cena's retirement tour, where every city that he goes in, they're selling a John Cena t-shirt that is for that particular city. And it's netting them just a ton of money because you can only get it when you're in that city. And it's a similar concept.
I
This
agree.
is a collector's item immediately. They've created a collector's item that you can only get in this one stop, and it is smart. I don't know if it's worth $2,000, but it's smart.
It depends on the person. Like Goat said, though, I agree with him. $2,000, I'd rather fly to Japan and see them. Absolutely, I would. That's what I would rather do, and then enjoy the experience.
What's the VIP room mean?
Normally, I know with Firewind, they would have a special room where you would hang out with the band, but that's not the case with this. So this is a completely different thing. So this is just for the fans. One of the other VIP things that I went to, we had a room upstairs where we all got to chill and just laugh. There's complimentary snacks and soft drinks. That's not including alcohol, though.
Soft drinks, not alcohol.
Yeah, not alcohol, not alcohol.
It's just a combination of all of those things building up, and then it ends up in $2,000 tickets, right? That you're buying for something. At the same time, it's supply and demand. Like, this is how society works. And if people are going to spend the $2,000, why wouldn't they cash in on the $2,000 if they're going to sell out on it?
It's going to sell. I'm telling you, the country flag is what's going to sell it. That's what it's going to do. Because like Neo24 was saying in chat, not sure if I want to snack and drink soda with other Baby Metal fans for the tune of $2K. I can pay for a ticket. No, I get that, but it's the other stuff that comes with it. It's not even just stopping at the flag. You also get exclusive pre-show VIP lounge laminate lanyard, which we just talked about, souvenir collectible concert ticket, first fans to enter the venue, which you can get those with other tickets on site.
I'd pay $150 for a show in general, right? That's my cap for a concert at this point.
Yeah.
I'd pay another $150 if I was going to hang out with them, like afterwards. $300 to $500 would be my max to hang out with one of my favorite bands. You know what I mean? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, people are going to buy this, and people are going to like it.
When I said 2,000, it was including the ticket, because the experience is $1,653. But yeah.
Oh. Okay, so you're adding, there's a declining taxes also on top of it.
I should have mentioned that first. My bad.
So that's included in the 2K.
That's crazy.
That's what happens. I'm sorry, but like, people need to realize this is going to start happening. They're going to start pricing all of the normies out of events over time, over the course of the next 5 years. People aren't going to be able to afford it. It's only going to be the 1% that can go, and the 1% is going to get bored, and then we're going to have an economic disaster in the music industry. I'm really hoping that we realize that before that happens.
I'm going to say this. If I had, like, fuck you money, I would pay this. Fuck yeah. I would go get that flag.
But most people don't have fuck you money. You know what I mean? That's the 1%.
That's the only way that I would do this, is if I had fuck you money. I would just fucking...
Yeah, Flag Checker says 2K, I better be watching from the stage. You could watch from behind the set, like you're standing behind them or on the side of the stage. I'd be like, okay, that might be worth like the 2K.
No, if I'm getting drunk with the band, I will pull out a loan to pay for that. I won't wait for FU money.
See, this is how Alan falls off the wagon. We're going to hope that they never offer this, actually.
If you really want me to go into debt, just like you get drunk with Baby Metal, okay, that's an experience to go in debt for. What experience would you do, champ, to go in debt for? Is there an experience out there that you would do and you'd be willing to go in debt for?
I'm already.
It's a hard one, right?
You're
going further in debt,
that
boy.
Will get me out of debt, because I might do that. But no, maybe if it was like something like you get to perform with us. You know what I mean? Like you get to come on stage and play a song with us.
If I get to play a song with them, I would pay. for sure.
If they're,
Yeah.
especially if it's one of your songs. What if they'll play
Oh,
one of your songs with you?
that would be insane.
That would be cool.
Yeah, if they like called me up to play like monochrome with them or something, and they get to let
that
me
would be
play my
sweet.
solos I made for it.
Even if it was a cover, come up on stage with us, I'd be like, fucking hey, that's worth $2,000.
John just said in chat, I would pay to be Miyako and Midori's guitar tech. That's just like the Gene Simmons thing.
I would pay to be Miyako and Midori's guitar.
But that's the thing is, if these bands wanted to, they can make some serious cash off of us in the West. They really could.
yeah.
If they offered like anything like that, they could make.
I'd rather them get my money.
Did anyone pay for the experience? Anyone pay for a VIP experience? If you did, let us know. We'd love to talk to you after the shows so we could see if it was worth it. That'd be an interesting thing to talk about. I'd love to hear your thoughts later. If you're watching this later on YouTube, leave a comment below. I'm curious, how much would you pay for an experience? I agree with you. Paying to go see the band or playing with the band would be a huge one, dude. A huge